this morning we have a very important issue we'll be discussing, which is the continued support for the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip as well as Palestine. The Decent Life Foundation continues its support for the brethren in Gaza by participating and sending relief aid on a regular basis. And in this regard, the foundation has launched its latest initiative called Human to Human. This is in partnership with school students in order to intensify relief and humanitarian aid. The initiative aims primarily to support people in the Gaza Strip working to prepare larger quantities of aid directed to the people in Gaza. Now, we're delighted to be joined over the telephone this morning by our guest, His Excellency Ambassador Ayoub, Mahmoud Ayoub, Minister Plenipotentiary Commercial. It's a very good morning to you, Your Excellency.
Good morning to you and to the viewers.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. And let me start by asking you to tell us a bit more about the Human to Human initiative that has been launched here in Egypt.
This is very important and vital for the Palestinians in Gaza. They are deprived of the basics of life itself, like water and food. So what Egypt is doing at this moment is vital and important. This is important for not only for Palestinians, but for humanity as a whole. When several countries are trying to supply food and assistance to the Palestinians and Israel is rejecting it, Egypt is playing a dominant and important role as a catalyst in this respect, and that is why the Egyptian Red Crescent and the Egyptian government are doing their best to supply all possible needs of the Palestinians in Gaza at a critical time. It is a big prison where there are 2.4 million prisoners in Gaza, and Israel is trying to exterminate a good part of them. Egypt is standing firm in this respect, and that's why the international community is admiring what Egypt is doing, and at the same time, Egypt is doing a lot of effort in this respect. Egyptian Red Crescent and other NGOs in Egypt are doing a lot in this respect, and several convoys, hundreds, if I can say, in that respect, are waiting to enter Rafah for the Palestinians in Gaza.
Mr. Ambassador, how do you see such initiatives, emphasizing the role of civil society organizations in supporting the Palestinians and sending aid, as well as establishing volunteer work on a solid ground?
What is being done now is vital, and as I mentioned before, if this assistance and help is not supplied to the Palestinians, hundreds and thousands of them are dying every day and will be dying every day. So what is being done now is very important. The international community has a role to play, has a responsibility to play. All the international organizations like United Nations and other NGOs, other international organizations have a responsibility in this respect to help Egypt to supply the badly needed assistance to Palestinians in Gaza, and that is why we are doing our best. But at the same time, Israel is obstinate and just accepting a very small proportion of what Egypt is supplying in this respect, and that is why the international community should pressure Israel to open the doors for humanitarian assistance to Palestinians in Gaza.
Yes, absolutely. Now, in cooperation with the Blood Bank as well and the Ministry of Health and Population, the National Alliance for Civil Development Work has also launched a nationwide campaign for blood donation under the slogan, "A drop of blood equals a life." Could you tell us a bit about the importance of joining efforts of different state institutions to alleviate, of course, suffering of the Palestinian people, and even the importance of something like a blood donation?
This is the most important part of the assistance supplied by Egyptians. I say Egyptians as a whole to Gaza and the Palestinians in Gaza. When I see that in individuals, organizations, and many NGOs in Egypt initiated this process, and now the Egyptian Red Crescent is aflux with donation of blood, as we call it. A little blood can save a life or a human being in Gaza. it is important and vital, and all the persons who have mercy in their heart has to step in and be donors of blood for the people who are dying in Gaza because of the Israeli aggression.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Ambassador, the World Health Organization has announced the lack of, as you said, safety guarantees for the aid and the convoys that are crossing into Gaza, saying that it was almost nearly impossible to get medical supplies to hospitals. In your opinion, what are the measures that are needed to provide international protection, and guarantee that something as life-saving as medicines, antibiotics, vaccinations can reach the people in the Gaza Strip?
First step is to stop aggression and attacking the hospitals. They attack hospitals.
Exactly.
Something tragic. We have never seen that even by the Nazis in Germany. They are attacking the hospitals in Gaza. So first of all, to stop attacking the hospitals. Second, to permit the supply of donations of blood, of medicines, and of doctors to these hospitals, because it is a life-saving process, which Egypt is doing its best, but WHO, World Health Organization, must pressure Israel in every possible way, otherwise more lives will be dying every day in Gaza, and the culprit is there trying to invade another country, his occupied territory, and they have a role they have a responsibility to keep the lives of the people safe. But otherwise, many casualties are happening every day, and so international community, whether World Health Organization or other organizations, must pressure Israel in every possible way to stop aggression, especially on the hospitals and the convoys which are supplying food, medicine, and aid and necessary aid to Palestinians.
Absolutely. Now, Your Excellency, in another effort by Egypt, the North Sinai hospitals are at their highest level of preparation and to receive the injured Palestinians. Also, they are providing care for the wounded transferred from Gaza who have sustained serious injuries. At least 60 of them have been recorded to be women and children. How has the Ministry of Health worked in this regard to apply certain medical precautions, preparations, availability of medication, vaccinations, etc., to cater for the injured as well as prevent other issues like the spread of disease, for example?
This is very important for the livelihood of Palestinians in Gaza. Egypt has done its best in this respect, even receiving the wounded and badly wounded, and those who need emergency operations. The emergency operations are performed without any anesthesia because of the lack of the material. But Egypt is welcoming them, trying to do its best in this respect, and the international community should pressure Israel to stop aggression on the hospitals and on the convoys which are supplying badly needed medical help. And we have seen many NGOs in Egypt supplying and offering and coming to Bangor to bring doctors to hospitals in Gaza so that it can compensate the deaths of doctors and nurses in Gaza by the Israeli aggression.
Absolutely. Now, Your Excellency, as you said, Israeli occupation forces are targeting hospitals and emergency areas, which, as you said, is unprecedented. And now, of course, there are warnings of the dire conditions of these health facilities and hospitals. And now another issue that they are worried and concerned about are the shortages of fuel and petrol and the availability of petroleum and fuel products that are running out. And some of the hospitals have already said that their generators are expected to run out within the next 48 or 30 hours.
This is a byproduct of the Israeli aggression on Gaza. When the hospitals are deprived of electricity, this means that many operations cannot be performed, and at the same time, the neonates, very small children, about 6 months, 7 months old, fetus is deprived of the oxygen, just oxygen usually for them to breathe. It is a crime against humanity, and Israel should, because it will not prevail at the end of the day, they will be defeated. But at the same time, in this process, the international community has a role to play, and all the countries of the world, not only the Western countries, have to play a role, and many countries have severe diplomatic the relations with Israel because of this aggression, some of them as far as Latin America. So international community has a role to play in pressurizing the Israeli government and Netanyahu to stop aggression against hospitals and the most needed help for the people at this strife, which we are seeing almost for more than 1 month now.
Indeed, and even the survivors in the Gaza Strip, aside from medical assistance, they are, in dire need of clean drinking water as well as food. And we've seen President Sisi's expression of his deep concern over the continued deterioration of the humanitarian situation and the need for international bodies, for example, like the World Food Programme, which recently the president received the executive director of Cindy Lou McCain, speaking about the intensified efforts, the coordination and assistance provided by parties, including the World Food Programme and other relevant UN organizations. What pressure can they exert just to ensure the safe passage and entry of clean water and food?
Just to ensure the safe passage of the clean water and food and medicine to the people, it is a minimum requirement of the livelihood of the people. The president of Egypt has done a lot of effort in that respect, has used all his capacities in that respect, and the Israeli government, the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, is trying to hamper all the assistance to the Gazans or the Palestinians to push them out of their own land. There's something tragic, and the international community should strongly accuse Israel and stop any kind of assistance or money to Israel at this junction, because otherwise more lives will be lost every day thanks to the intransigence of Israeli government. But at the end of the day, we find that the international community, besides it has a role, is doing its best now, thanks to Egypt in this respect, to supply the badly needed medicines and medication and food and just water to the Palestinians, and electricity. They stopped the petrol from the gas stations, from the hospitals in Israel in a premeditated effort to stop operations and kill the biggest number of Palestinians in their own land. So the international community, and Egypt is playing a role in this respect, has a role to play, and it is playing it thanks to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi.
Absolutely. Finally, Your Excellency, as you said, intensified coordination and consultation is the talk of the hour and is crucial, really, in this stage to end the violence against civilians. In your opinion, from where to start? What path needs to be taken towards achieving this comprehensive and durable peace and ensuring their security as well as stability, as well as stability of the region as a whole?
The stability of the region as a whole is at stake at this moment. The two parties, that is Hamas and the Israelis, should sit together under any umbrella, international umbrella, or Egyptian umbrella, or whatever umbrella, to find the conclusion, to find settlement. The first step in this step is to stop aggression, and after that, let us look to the details. What is happening now is extermination, genocide. So they have to sit together and try to find a compromise so that at least to save lives of women and children who are dying every day because of lack of medicine or of food or water, as we mentioned. So international community has a role to play, and Egypt must also pressure Israel in every possible way, and this is what it is doing now. So the Israel should come to Egypt, because it cannot prevail. At the end of the day, they will be defeated. But in the meantime, Egypt is playing a role, an important role, because the Palestinians in Gaza are in much need of the, when I say oxygen itself, they need the water, they need the food, and otherwise many lives will be lost every day because of this Israeli aggression in Gaza, and hope that this drama or tragic drama will come to an end as soon as possible.
Indeed, absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Ayoub, Mahmoud Ayoub, Minister Plenipotentiary Commercial. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your time and for joining us on this morning's edition of The Breakfast Show. I'm afraid we've run out of time. That's all the time we have for today's edition. We do hope you have enjoyed it. Do join us again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for a new edition of The Breakfast Show. Till then, you're in the company of myself and Jumeirah. Many thanks for joining us.